Hey, in today's video, I want to talk about things that as photographers care about that we really shouldn't, and that also other people don't care about, the clients, the art buyers, the creative directors. And I think a lot of us know this already, but we perhaps choose to ignore it and worry about things that just doesn't matter. And let's start off with kit, because it matters. It really does matter. And I always talk about how kit doesn't matter. And then people are like, yeah, you were shooting that on a phase 1 with 100 megapixel back, or your backup camera is a 5D SR with 100mm Zeiss on it, which are all good bits of kit, granted. But I have these from more of an economy point of view than an image quality point of view, which is a video in itself. But I have wasted in the early years so much of my time researching whether the lens upgrade is going to make my images better. And let me tell you, it doesn't. I have the 100mm Zeiss and I have the 100mm by Canon, the L version and the non-L version. I can't tell the difference. I really can't. There is small differences. The Zeiss does have the edge, but it doesn't have a £2,000 edge. Now, as well as kit comes to image quality, and the specific one which we care about that we really shouldn't most of the time is sharpness. I have taken the most sharpest detailed images known to man in the past and then seen them printed on a billboard at about 10 dpi. It is heartbreaking, but no one cares because it's all about viewing distance, and more important than sharpness is content. More important than content is context. So it's very low down on the chain. Now, granted, once you've got everything else perfect, then the image quality and the sharpness and the dynamic range does matter. But until that point, it is like the icing on top of the icing on top of the icing on the cake. It is really the very top level stuff. Now, another thing a lot of us get fixated on, and I myself have done this, is the amount of followers we have on Instagram. We see photographers with 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 followers, but they're not commercial photographers. Most of the best photographers I know have less than 1,000 followers, but the 732 followers that they do have, you bet they're important people. You bet they're the art buyers. You bet they're the creative directors for the right agencies for the top end work. And that's what really matters. That's what really matters in terms of social media. And obviously me having a YouTube video, the number of followers is something I track and it's something I obsess over. And sometimes go, oh man, I've only gained 1,000 followers this month. My videos must be worse than last month when I gained 2,000. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know, Instagram for me, which is where my photography world lives, I've got 10,000 followers. Most of them are photographers. And, you know, as much as I love being followed by photographers, it's not helping my career that much. What I really need is art buyers to be following me. That's what matters. There's probably 50 people on my Instagram who follow me who actually make me money. That's not to say that I don't enjoy all the chats that we all have on Instagram. That's great. It's my social time, but it doesn't help my career. Really. If anything, it hinders my career because I get sidetracked and end up messaging people for hours and end at night when I should be sleeping. But there we go. That's another story altogether. Okay, the last thing I want to touch on is something that I often am still guilty of. And that is explaining the complexity of a shot to somebody and how you manage to do that 32 light setup. No one cares. No one cares. I often go, yes, we'll be able to do that shoot for you. And then I go into a long-winded story about the laws of physics and the cool lighting I'm going to be using and all this jazz. And you can see the art buyers already going, I'm not going to be on that shoot because you sound boring as sin. And the creative director's going, please, good Lord, don't send me on that shoot. Let me do it remotely. Nobody cares about how clever our lighting setups are. Nobody cares. Only photographers care. And even then, most of us don't really care unless we can do it ourselves. And it's one of those many things that we talk about as photographers that just puts off non-photographers, i.e. the client, off working with us. All this talk of image quality, dynamic range, sharpness, optical brilliance, lighting setups, all that good stuff, nobody cares about it. And less than that, Moggy, do you care about image quality? What'd you say? She don't care. She really doesn't. Does it make you mad? It makes her mad. Look how mad she is. Anyway, the point of this video is this. There's a lot of things that photographers, and myself included, get fixated on. I have recently been spending hours each evening researching a way to make a digital large format camera, which really is not going to make me any better. It's going to make me £40,000 light of pocket. But it doesn't matter. And it really doesn't matter. But it's the sort of thing that we fixate about. And it is fine. A lot of us enjoy it. I love technical cameras and I enjoy researching it. But it's important to remind yourself that, Moggy, you biting me because I'm boring you. I think I'm boring a cat. But it's important to remember that it doesn't matter. And it's not something that the rest of the world cares about. So every now and again, give yourself a reality check and just remind yourself, Nobody cares. Anyway, I hope this has been of use to you and at least helped ground you a little bit away from researching the next lens for the next 2 hours. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. I promise not to talk about cameras anymore, Moggy. Just talk about fish. You like fish, don't you? Would you like a fish? Should I cook some salmon? Go on then.